Looking for a small skiff to fish the Sound or rivers, or a huge offshore tuna machine, Defiance Marine has it. At Defiance Marine, be sure to power your boat with a Honda outboard package. Take advantage of the reliability and 5-year top-to-prop warranty on your Honda outboards. Our service department is always here to help and serve you as the customer. Did you know Defiance Marine has boat financing experts to help get you the best term rates on your new boat purchase? If you need financing for that new boat, call us today. We guarantee the best price, best service on a repower for your current boat. Defiance Marine is a Honda Premier dealership and one of the largest on the West Coast. Defiance Marine also carries all the gear that you will need. Everything from auxiliary kicker motors to fishing tackle and bait. Defiance Marine has certified technicians that are top-notch at their job. Some of the best in the Pacific Northwest at evaluating your boat issues and problems. Stop in today or give us a call for all your needs at Defiance Marine.
Today, the need for quality private security services is at an all-time high. Contract Security Service provides day-to-day peace of mind as they protect people and property. Here at Phoenix, we provide service for multiple state and federal contracts with services ranging from uniform, patrol, alarm monitoring, canine detection, executive protection, as well as investigative work. Phoenix client management models are built on understanding our clients' security needs and responding with a tailored program that is best fit for them. Phoenix provides excellent customer service through well-trained, highly motivated security professionals. Recruiting highly qualified officers is the first step in building a strong team. Currently, we are comprised of 70% prior law enforcement and military veterans. If you are prior military or law enforcement, go to www.phoenixprotectivecorps.com and apply today.
Here we go.
We've got a ballistic solution app on my
Tuna grounds are on the ocean, Tommy.
We're gonna do that. Don't go anywhere.
We've got all the great fish that make great fish and chips.
Hey, good evening and welcome to Fish on Northwest. Duane England and Tommy Donlin.
Hey, hey.
Sitting to my immediate right.
That's right.
Yeah, so good to see you again. Can you believe, I think I said it last week too, but man, the weeks are flying by.
They are. Well, we've got a full schedule too.
We got a full schedule. And you know, I think when you get on the road, like I did this last week, myself and DJ, we headed down, fished with Kyle down in Oregon. You spent a couple of days down there and you come back, a day or two at work. Next thing you know, here we are Thursday.
Right.
And it is Thursday. We are live from the Fish on Northwest studio, 6 p.m. every Thursday from the lovely shores of Summit Lake here in Olympia, Washington. So glad you could all join us. And yes, as Tommy mentioned, lots of info to get through tonight. Holy smokes, it's like this stuff writes itself.
I know it's every week it's something new, something's going on, and we got a full load again tonight. We've got a pretty sweet. You're gonna run down the show, so I don't want to steal.
I'm gonna run down the show.
I don't want to steal your thunder.
Yeah. But we'll get to it. But got some great guests lined up. Got a lot of information that's very important to put on the radar of many. Some of this stuff. Spend the week posting up on our Facebook page and social media, try and generate some conversation about things happening that you need to be made aware of. Little insight, lead sessions back in. This is where some of this stuff comes from for the next 60 days or so, there'll be some things going on. We, as passionate persons who fish and hunt, need to pay attention to. And you're not going to get it anywhere else. We're gonna dissect that stuff. We're going to get the guests on Fish Out Northwest that help you understand the importance of understanding what it is truly going on, right?
And we're not afraid to talk about the hard issues, and we've got yet another hard issue that we're going to cover tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Week in and week out. Like I said, this stuff writes itself. We're just here to present the information, open forum, let you guys decide what you want to do with it. So with that, there are a few things going on. Like I said, just got back from Oregon. Had a great time down there with Kyle Buschelman. Got on the river for a day and just we got into a handful of fish. Fishing was better down there a week or two prior, but we did okay. We scratched out a decent number of fish. Caught a random bright coho.
Really?
Mid-January, midway up the river. Yeah, there were a handful of coho getting caught that week by a number of boats and stuff. So they get a late run pushing into January down there off of the Oregon coast. That's pretty interesting to see. But all in all, the weather was great. Had a great fishery. We're going to get Kyle on later. We'll jump into that. But just I was kind of reflecting back. So I was going to head out and fish tomorrow. I was going to run out to the coast, jump in with buddy Jared Cady, Get Him Dry Fishing Company, Get Him Dry Jigs. Longtime friend, and we fish together a couple times a year. We want to bring to you guys some out in the field, on the water, really detailed information on jig fishing, presentation, color, water conditions, all those things that Jared is so good at doing. Well, those plans were blown out the door first thing this morning. We got up and they had already gotten 2 inches of rain out there on the coast, and things are definitely on the straight up on the gauge. So we'll put that off till maybe next week. But that takes me back to, hey, we are fishing some of our rivers. I think we're going to be on a river where we have to get out of the boat to fish. We can only utilize one presentation, a single barbless hook presentation with no bait, no scent. One jig, one bead, one worm, what have you. I'm down there fishing in Oregon. We're throwing dual rigs, bobber dog and dual rigs, which is conducive to more presentation in the water. Bait and scent if you want to use it all day long. Fishing out of the boat.
Yeah, fishing out of the boat. Isn't that a unique and novel idea?
So there's reasons for that, and that's why we have Kyle on tonight to talk about it. And I'm hopeful as we get into next week, Tommy, I'm trying to line up a guest to do a comparable on what we got going on down in Oregon, what we are doing here in Washington to hopefully start boosting our steelhead numbers a little bit. Yeah. So that's kind of the takeaway from there, but we're going to get into that a little bit later in the show here. Couple things. Hey, we got to remind you guys, if you're a hunter, you got to be cognizant of some dates. Got some timestamps you got to adhere to. All hunters, regardless of your success in the field, you must submit hunting reports for each transport tag you purchase. We're talking deer, elk, turkey, what have you. Any type of transport tag that you purchase in the realm of hunting, you're required to submit that no later than January 31st. Failure to meet the deadline can result in a $10 reporting fine per tag.
Yeah, that can add up pretty quickly.
Yeah, I mean, if you're holding on to 5 tags because you get these multiple opportunities, I mean, there's an extra $50 out of pocket. Let's face it, it's expensive enough. Yeah. So make sure you get your reporting, and it's never been easier. Get on WDFW. You can set up your online account, and you simply sit there your computer, and you just put in all your information, which unit you're hunting from, success or not. It walks you through it all, no matter what animal or species you're going after. So please, ladies and gentlemen, get on there prior to the 31st and submit those reports.
And along the same lines, we got our catch record cards for crab due by February 1st as well.
Winter crab?
Winter crab.
Oh, that's right.
Yep.
That's
and,
right.
Failure to report on that is $10. And it's just remember, it's only for Puget Sound. So if you crab in the ocean or Columbia River, you're good to go. It's just if you bought that Puget Sound crab endorsement that you have to report, whether you got any crab or not. And they don't really care if you didn't report, because next time you buy a crab license, it's going to be an extra $10.
$10.
Yep.
$10 extra. Yep. And let's face it, they make a ton of money on that too, by the way.
They do. They
make a ton of money. Okay. One thing I want to remind folks, hey, we're still working with and still supporting, why wouldn't we, Tommy? Fisherman's Brew. Fisherman's Brew coffee. If you have not, please listen to us. Go pick yourself up some. Get online, fishermansbrew.com. Order yourself up some Steelhead blend or the King Salmon blend. Both are fantastic. Should be in your thermos, whether you're this time of year on the boat, bank fishing on the river, in the duck or goose blind, what have you, as January winds down. Fisherman's Brew, help us support small companies in the Northwest, and 5% of the monies go towards salmon recovery. Very important in today's modern society. So check them out, fishermansbrew.com. Please please help us out to help them. Tommy, I want to take a minute here to reflect on something that happened this last weekend. We lost a good guy.
Yeah.
We lost a good guy. Carl Wendell, friend and a fisherman guide, extremely great individual, just a good human being. I met him several years ago down at the Puyallup Sportsman Show back in the day when we were doing the Wild Country booth. Mm-hmm. And our booth was right next to Carl. He was promoting his black bear hunting. Probably one of the top black bear outfitters in the state of Washington, hands down, possibly on the West Coast for this region, because he was so dialed. Born and raised in Forks, grew up in the outdoors essentially, right, with a fishing pole in one hand and a rifle in the other. And the guy just flat out got it done. Historically, if I wanted to talk pursuit of trophy steelhead and how to be successful, he's one of the guys on my call list. If I wanted to talk black bear, he's number one on my call list. And he would come forward with the information, man. In his own right, a successful hunter, a damn good guide, and just a really good human being. Father, husband to Julie, baseball coach, full of life, love the Lord, just a very good man. And unexpectedly, we lost him. Very sad about this whole thing. And it shook many in the fishing and hunting industry just because he's a standout. And so I just want to pay our respects to his family. And Carl, we're going to miss you, buddy, for all that you stood for and all that you've done in the outdoors and in fishing in general. You're going to be missed. So for what it's worth. All right. With that, Tommy, running down the show. We got a busy one, man. Lots happening as it is each and every week. We'll start off rolling out of here after the break. We're going to let you enjoy the time on the water spent with Matt Messing, our buddy Matt Messing, Messing Around Fishing Charters, Puget Sound Blackmouth, and how and why we were successful. We talked to Matt last week. Now we're going to show you that day on the water for you to enjoy. Why? We're hopeful that come February, we're getting back on the water.
Yep.
So take away some points from Matt and myself out there on the water, finding success in these blackmouth, and look forward to February in hopes that we can get back out there and find some more of these fantastic blackmouth off of Puget Sound. Then we're going to dial up buddy Kyle Buschelman, Willamette Valley Outfitters, steelhead fishing on the Oregon coast, Broodstock and Hatchery Steelhead Programs, what we can learn. That's going to be kind of our comparable, what they're doing down there in Oregon, why they're so successful, and what possibly we can take away from there. After that, I want to bring back another fantastic recipe of the week, Tommy, with Chef Jeff Maxfield and Sherry Shing, as we refer to her, in the kitchen at Finn's Bistro, Douglas fir roasted salmon. Now, I believe in this recipe, we did it with coho, but hey, those blackmouth that you go out and catch in February, and the fact that you can still get Douglas fir branches off your trees, this is one that you definitely want to do with some fresh blackmouth. But the recipe out of the kitchen at Finn's Bistro tonight will be with coho. Doesn't matter. Salmon recipe that is to die for. Then we're going to close out the show, Tommy. This is some of the issues that you and I are following. Our good friend Ron Garner, president of PSA, Puget Sound Anglers. There are some Senate and House bills currently being moved forward in the legislative process. They're coming out of the Natural Resources Committee that we as recreational fishing need to pay attention to. Mm-hmm. And we're gonna work with Ron to break that down.
And hunting as well.
And hunting as well.
It affects both sides of the house.
Absolutely. Yep. So there's a lot going on there. There's a lot we need to pay attention to. We're going to bring that to you as we wind down the show this evening. Please stay tuned and pay attention to that. There's some action items you can take as a concerned hunter or fisher in the state of Washington. As we support each other, whether you're an avid hunter or fisher, as in the spring bear hunt debacle, mm-hmm. we were advocating for those that recreate on the waters to show your support. In this realm here, on these fishing issues and commission issues, we're asking for all participants to pay attention, and we're going to give you some action items to move forward this evening that are already posted up on our social media, and Ron's going to have some bit of information for you as well. So, tons to get to. We're going to do just that. We'll jump out for a couple-minute break. Don't go anywhere. Stick with us. We come back over the rail, presented by Defiance Marine, Puget Sound Blackmouth, with Matt Messing, Messing Around Fishing Charters, right here, Fish on Northwest.
Portco, an outdoor emporium, is the largest local outfitter in the Northwest since 1975, providing thousands of people affordable outdoor gear. This summer, make your next outdoor adventure more affordable by shopping at our warehouse-style pricing. We are a local Scotty dealer, offering sales, service, and repair. Located in Fife and Seattle, come visit us today. The outdoors await you.
It's easier than ever to browse homes and connect with an agent on the go with Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate's mobile app. With the app, your home search is synced across all of your devices, so you can pick up your home search anytime, anywhere. Take full advantage of an enriched, mobile-optimized map search experience. Use location services to quickly find homes near you that match your search criteria. Draw your own map boundaries to find homes in a specific area, and apply layers to view school districts, neighborhoods, zip codes, and more. The app's user-friendly design makes it easier than ever to find a home you'll love. Narrow down your search results, save your search criteria, and save your favorite homes. You can browse your saved homes in a list view that puts photos and key details like price and square footage right at your fingertips. Or check out your saved homes displayed on the map.
Yep, for sure. Oh yeah, big fish. Yeah, buddy. Nice fish. Oh, beauty. Gorgeous fish.
Bobby's on the board.
We got a good one.
Oh yeah. Oh, 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 geez, come on.
Nice fish. Nice fish.
Hey, there he is.
Oh, hey guys, welcome. You made it.
Matt messing around fishing charters. Everybody knows him, of course.
Cheers.
Thanks, man. We're gonna get some blackmouth. It's about almost mid-January. Time to go get them.
Yeah, a little closer to home this time. Man, you have
Closer
to
to home.
drive all the way up to CQ to go get them now.
Yeah, no doubt, right? So
That'd be
yes,
nice.
yeah, that was good last year.
Yeah.
I'm actually looking forward to that this year in April.
Yeah.
That should be good. So.
Oh, that'll be, yeah.
But we're basically here, Puget Sound, one of the only areas open for blackmouth, Area 10, and jumping on board with Matt this morning, and we're gonna go out and get it done.
That's it.
Sound like a plan?
That sounds like a good plan.
All right, let's go.
All right.
Coffee cup, very important today. Yeah, all right.
Oh, man.
Well, we're out here, Matt. Got out here right at the start of daylight, dropped lines in. We're on the troll now. Just kind of waiting for it to go off. I mean, looking for bait.
Looking for bait. I have not seen
a whole lot of bait on the screen yet, but it's early. We just got the troll going.
Just getting everything organized, getting back into the groove of things.
Running a couple different hoochie patterns. We got our herring aid flashers down there. I'm running a green splatter black with lots of glow. So
yeah, I got the glow army trip going.
Okay.
The little squid topper on there.
Yeah. So I mean, glow and UV, right? That's what it comes down to. We got some scent down there. Yeah, you got a little squid on there. I'm
I'm rolling some herring, some Mike's herring oil on some yarn I tie up inside my squid. But you know, we'll just do the drag for a while here and see if we scratch anything out, and then if not,
If we don't like it, we're leaving.
pick up and move.
I'll go do something else.
Okay, I like it. You double up. This isn't so bad, man. Either doubled up or we tangled up. It doesn't feel too bad, actually.
Double! How about that? Oh yeah, how we doing?
Outstanding. Yeah. Might be 22. Yeah, I don't even know what's 22. Pretty close. Who doesn't use channel locks to unhook fish? We're liking that two-faced spoon.
Yeah, he's definitely a couple more than me so far.
So we're running our hearing aid flashers today with our breakaway, homemade breakaway that's been working flawlessly. Even on the smaller fish, it's popping out.
Popping
You know,
right
when this, if that sticks a little bit, all you gotta do is take some of our Potski fire gel, which is just basically a lubricant, or even some of your oils, put it in that tube, lubes it up a little bit, and those things pop right out of there. So once in a while in the cold water, with the amount that this tube shrinks, it gets a little tight.
Yeah.
So
stick up.
Yep. And then I'm just running that two-faced spoon by Silver Horde. This thing's been getting it done. You know, I put some herring, some fire gel herring on one side, a little bit of anise on the other.
There you go.
I don't know what it is on anise or anise for winter blackmouth, but they seem to like it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed that or not.
A little bit. I'm not too much
Crazy
into
about
using.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of scent and stuff, but.
Right. So I'm a scent junkie. They seem to be grabbing it today. We just got to get a legal size fish now.
That's it.
That's what we're after. So these sublegals can stay away. All right, I'll pop this in here and we'll get it back out there. Look at all the wood in the water. Oh my God, it's the wood.
We're going through a freaking.
Look at all this
wood island.
Okay. Give him a measure. He's gonna be real close. He's right there. All right.
right, look out.
Yep.
22, huh?
22. We're bonking them.
Okay, there you go. Finally.
Yeah, got one.
Only took about 10. We just kept getting those fish right at that 20-inch, 19, 20-inch mark. You know, we're not getting a bunch of shakers, as in like 10-inch shakers, but you know, we're getting those
inch shy, like inch, 2 inch shy.
Yeah, 20-inch fish, and this guy's just right at 22. So we're not getting those 5 to 8 pounders, but hey, it is what it is, right, Matt?
We're getting dinner. That's what we're getting.
Dinner. I'll leave you a couple. I got more. Right on. Heck yeah. What size spoon you running now?
That's 3.5.
Okay.
3.5 top car glow.
So it's just a little bigger.
Just a hair bigger.
If it's a bigger fish, I'm going to actually jump up to it.
Yes.
3.5.
Yeah.
I guess.
I mean, the flasher pop, that was great.
Okay. All right. That's a much better fish.
It's nice when everything's working out.
Yeah. Well.
Okay, there we go. Scoop. 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 There we go.
That is definitely a legal fish. Woo! That's what we want. There you go, buddy. There's no.
That'll work. That's a blackmouth, baby.
There's no measuring on that guy.
Nope. Another one.
Nicely done, huh? Cent. Look at that purple back, huh?
That's beautiful. Look at that piece of the spoon.
Yeah.
It's a little bit bigger spoon.
Yeah, like ½ inch.
Here, let's go.
There's that. Breakaway flasher did its job. There we go. Look at that beautiful fish.
Man.
That thing up. Nice job, Matt.
That's a good one.
There you go.
Hell yeah.
By the way, did you look to make sure it didn't have a fin?
Yeah, I saw that from a mile away.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got a third eye for that.
That is that's a little better fish right there. I like that.
Oh, yeah.
That's getting it done. All right. Nicely done, buddy.
All right, let's get some more.
Yeah. About 20 inches. Not a bad fish. There you go. Almost there.
Same thing as earlier. I turned around and like, just barely hit it though. Super soft hit.
That might be another legal fish, huh?
I don't know. Looks like you popped the flasher maybe.
Yeah.
Nothing. That's a keeper.
It's gotta be a 22, huh? Smooth out.
Sweet. Oh yeah, that's a 22er all day. That's probably 23.
Uh-huh.
It's got some fatness to him too.
It does. It's
got a belly. Oh man, now we gotta measure a pocket fish.
Oh, I left him out in that. I figured you were so confident.
Oh, I am. That's a keeper.
Oh, yeah, that's a keeper. Okay.
So,
I got the dinker.
Little bonking measure.
Little bonking measure.
Hell yeah. Can't beat that little guy.
There you go. Blackmouth fishing limits.
Matt Messing ain't messing around. Well, Matt,
We did it again.
there you go, buddy. Another successful blackmouth
Yes, sir.
outing. Very much like our last trip up at CQ.
Yeah.
But here we're out in Marine Area 10, one of the only areas open right now for blackmouth. And, you know, as to be expected, the morning's going to start out cold.
Cold.
32 degrees, dark, lots of debris, lots of debris in the water. We've had DEFCON 5 flood stage on a number of rivers throughout Puget Sound.
Yeah.
All that stuff has to go somewhere. And with these larger tides, we got a lot of stuff washing off the beaches too. So it's like a lumberyard out there.
So much wood.
Oh.
Wood for days. It's everywhere.
You know, we kind of talked about it too, simply running 2 downriggers and just keeping 2 presentations fishing effectively.
That's it.
That's it.
Keep it simple.
Yeah, you got to watch for wood. You're constantly, you know, moving lines out of the way and whatnot. But you know, let's talk a little bit about presentation. 3-inch spoon was sent, was getting railed constantly.
Yeah.
But we just kind of kept hitting that 19, 20-inch, you know, size fish, right?
Same cookie cutter fish going after.
You want to see bigger fish. You don't want to go through our quota based on all these 20-inch fish. And we had the discussion, should we upsize our spoon? Now you're running a hoochie.
Yeah, we ran the hoochie with the little squid on that thing for a while.
Yeah, and the spoon just kept getting lit up. So then you put on a 3.5, and as we get towards the end of the morning, at 3.5, just that half-inch difference in presentation.
They changed. They went from hitting your side. They came over and just started
You're
annihilating.
like, I'm kicking your ass. I'm like, you got 2. So settle down there, skipper.
Yeah.
But it just shows you that, I mean, we had the discussion too, because it wasn't like on a 3-inch spoon we were picking up a ton of, you know, like 10-inch fish.
Yeah, they weren't little guys.
No.
They were like almost keepers.
Almost keepers, one after another, and just pretty, you know, pretty continuous. We ended up with 2 of those so-called shakers, that, you know, 10, 11-inch fish on that spoon, but that wasn't enough to change it over because they kept, you know, they kept hitting that spoon. I found it interesting. You put on the 3.5 of the pattern you chose on the silver horde, and then you brought it up and you said, hey, let's put some scent on it.
Let me try some of that scent.
I don't believe in scent, but let's put some scent on it. I was running a combination of the Potsy's Fire Gel, and I had herring on one side and I put a little bit of anise on the other.
Yep.
There's other guys on some of these derbies and stuff, you know, Friday Harbor and whatnot, they swear by anise for these cold water Chinook. And it's one of those ones I've always held on to, so I put a little anise on there. It didn't deter fish from biting that spoon, right? So you said, hey, all right, whatever you got going on yours, put it on mine.
Yeah, let's try it out.
So we did that. A little rub of the herring, a little rub of anise on the other side, dropped it down, boom.
And we saw a change.
We saw a change, right?
Like instant.
And you hit 3 or 4 fish back to back. You dropped that thing in and boom. So, and the 3.5 ended up grabbing the bigger fish of the day. So, you know, maybe there is something to that slight adjustment.
Just that little bit.
Because we're running similar patterns on our silver horde spoons, and you know, with some glow, obviously. You know, I was running that 2-face for most of the day.
Yeah.
But that being said, the spoons definitely outfished the hoochies, even though we got a lot of squid in the water.
Tons of squid.
You know,
tons of squid, but
you think they'd be feeding on those hoochies, but the spoons were getting it done.
Yeah.
So, and making adjustments to try and gauge whether or not you can actually start grabbing bigger fish.
That's it.
And it ended up working for us. So.
Yeah, if you find yourself just stuck on that 19 to 20-inch range, just bump that spoon up a little bit.
Yeah.
And get those fatter fish to bite.
It is a quota-based fishery. That being said, it's in excess of 8,000. But you know, we're week 1, second weekend into this fishery, right? We get to fish Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and we're hoping it sustains and gets us through into February. It'd be real nice.
I hope so.
We want to get some more trips out here.
Get some weather windows finally opening up for us, and
yeah.
You know, that wind's been brutal.
Yeah, it wasn't bad today. A couple of gusts come up from time to time that we had to fight a little bit. The bigger obstacle out here right now is all the debris floating, but that's going to flush out here in the next couple big tides.
Big tides, yeah, we'll get rid of it.
And we don't have any tremendous amounts of rain coming. River's going to start dropping down, and we're going to get all this stuff flushed out of here. So hopefully we can look forward to another couple weekends out here on the water and do it again. It was pretty good fishing. Not a bad day. So, all right, buddy, it's going to do it for us.
Heck yeah.
Appreciate it.
Until next time.
Another great day on the water with Matt messing around fishing charters. Look him up, give him a call, book a trip. And with that, we're going to jump out for a quick break. We'll be back in studio right after this. Well, there you go, Thomas.
Another productive day on the water.
Another productive day with Matt out there on the water doing our thing. You know what's interesting? We filleted them fish, right? Cut them open and checked their stomach contents. Not a single one of them had anything in the stomach, which I found to be a little odd because in and around that area, the smaller squid are just, there's a ton of them.
Right.
And actually, we started out the morning fishing those hoochies, which would replicate about the size of the squid that are in the water that these fish should be eating. Nothing, man. Their stomachs were absolutely bone dry.
Yeah, well, and the other interesting thing is, I think you guys mentioned you weren't seeing a lot on the sonar either.
No, nothing.
And so it kind of makes me wonder, you know, why are these fish there as opposed to, you know, maybe inshore a little further where there's a higher concentration of squid?
Yeah.
You know, laying eggs and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
We basically stayed in that 130, 140 line. We found most of our fish in that 130, 140.
Yeah.
Pretty consistently for the, you know, that was about a 3.5 hour morning. Got into plenty of fish, you know, and yeah, spoon size makes a difference. And next time out, I'm sticking with anything above 3.5 for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I noticed you did not have a knuckle buster.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Smart man.
Yeah, I'm fishing.
There you go.
I'm not dancing. I'm fishing.
You hear that, Mike Surdick?
Yeah.
Lori would appreciate a conventional reel.
Yeah, Surdick, the 1-to-1, right? The 1-to-1.
That's right.
All right. Well, it was a good time out there for sure. Let's hope we get that February opportunity coming back because truly, if we remember right, we talked about this a few weeks ago. I believe we're about 50% into the overall encounter rate, and we're at about 25% of the quota for take.
Yeah. There's been a lot of wacky stuff going on, though, to be honest.
They have different calculators.
They have a different calculator. It's not a TI-89. Yep. I'm not sure what's going to happen. I'd like to think that it's going to reopen, but I'm not going to hold my breath.
Yeah, well, I guess wishful thinking, and we'll see. Hopefully, we got some decent weather coming up, and we may find ourselves back on the water in February. I know a lot of folks on here are going to say, no, it ain't going to happen. They close it every year. We never get it back. Let's just wait and see. All right. With that, Tommy, we'll jump out for a quick break. We come back. Our buddy Kyle Buschelman, going to dial him up from down there in Oregon. We spent a better part of a day on the water with him on the Oregon coast, steelhead fishing, of course, and we are going to really kind of dial down into this broodstock program.
Yeah, and compare notes between, you know, what they have and what we have. It's going to be good.
And why they're successful. And a lot of you guys have been asking as of late, why don't we do more broodstock program here in Washington State? Hopefully we can answer that in the next couple of weeks. But for now, we're going to focus on the success of Oregon and perhaps what we can learn. Kyle Buschelman, we come back right here, Fish on Northwest.
A Northwest favorite for almost 40 years, Arima boats are manufactured with pride right here in Bremerton, Washington. Arima Boats offers all of our boats with Honda outboard packages so that you can take full advantage of the reliability and 5-year top-to-prop warranty from your Honda outboard. With literally thousands of Arima boats on the water throughout the Pacific Northwest, Arima boats are a proven hull design that offers incredible fuel economy and all of the amenities that a serious angler is looking for. All Arima boats are built without any structural wood materials. That is why we back our boats with a lifetime warranty. All of our Arima boats are designed to maximize deck space while also providing ample seating. Contact us today at Arima Boats for all your boating needs and let us help you get out on the water.
End of Watch Ride to Remember is a group from the state of Washington traveling across the country to honor fallen officers from 2019. End of Watch organizer Jagrut Shah says they want to show departments who've lost partners and friends they are not alone.
I wanted to bridge this gap that we have and bring back to the department, let the deputies or the officers know that their lost has not been forgotten.
In 2019, 146 officers were killed in the line of duty, and End of Watch Ride to Remember is on a mission to pay their respects to each of them.
For us, it's just important realizing that the men and women in blue everywhere should remember that they haven't been forgotten. We're not forgetting them. We want the families to know that their loved ones have not been forgotten.
Hey, welcome back in studio here, Fish Out Northwest, Duane Tommy Donlin. Tommy, In Our Backyard, presented by Phoenix Protective Corp. Check out everything they have going on at phoenixprotectivecorp.com. Next on the phone, next in the hot seat, good buddy, longtime friend, and phenomenal guide, Kyle Buschelman, Willamette Valley Outfitters. How you doing, buddy?
Doing pretty good.
Yeah, thanks for taking the time. I know you're at your daughter's soccer game, and you're willing to step out and jump on the phone with us to kind of recap the day we had here earlier in the week, or last weekend, I guess it was now. So a couple things. I'd kind of like, people know I was down there fishing with you once again. We've done this annually now for, 4 or 5 years or something. And I come down there for a purpose, right? We enjoy trying to help out with that recognized broodstock program that you have on a number of rivers. And, there's a pretty robust hatchery opportunity at times. But I kind of want you to describe how the broodstock program works on the Oregon coastal rivers, and if there's still really a difference between what you guys recognize as broodstock, hatchery program, and or the wild fish component.
Right. Well, we have a pretty good central coast from Tillamook down to the Siletz River, a pretty good program with the brood. Part of that's the biologists we have with ODFW. They're fishermen. They are helping us out. They listen to the feedback, and they've learned that these fish that we're using, these wild fish, I don't call them natives because they've all been tampered with, but wild fish, gravel to gravel, we're using these fish and creating the next generation of hatchery fish so that we have a retention possibility. And on the Siletz River, our program starts from December till April. What's neat about this is we got keeper steelhead all the way into April, and it spreads out the run. And so they do a pretty good job of letting us know how many pairs per month we want to do. I think we're up to 18 pairs this month. I could be wrong. It varies based on what they need because they get them at the traps sometimes up there at the falls and the Siletz, and they also get them from us guides. There's 8 of us guides that have boxes, live wells that they've provided for us. They've bought them for us. They've got us cradle nets and everything so that we have a safe program. And it's just been a really good it's nice when you're participating in a program. Everybody tends to value the resource a bit, and we're seeing the rewards of it. We're having lots of hatchery fish returning this year, and it's a direct relation to the broodstock efforts of the guides and Paul at ODFW out of LC, and he manages the Siletz River Basin right now.
So speaking of participation, who all can take part in this program, and how big of a role do the guides play in the broodstock program?
Well, just like many things, I don't want to have too many people. With the guides, there's a lot of accountability because we're licensed. We do have to have a state police license to transport wild fish, so you can't have a box without one of these permits. And so Paul at ODFW manages all that for us. So it's really nice, but I'm going to a derby here on the Umpqua in another week, and I get to use this whole system for the South Fork of the Umpqua. They're doing broodstock down there now. And so the state of Oregon is doubling down on broodstock, and what we're seeing is incredible opportunity. And if you guys have heard, Tillamook rivers are doing well. The Stucca is doing well. Siletz is doing well. South Fork is seeing a fair amount of hatchery returning fish already, and those are all because of broodstock. And it's neat. By doing this, we have a staggered run. It wasn't like that traditional run back in the 80s where it was that, I think the Skamania strain or the Alc strain, where those fish came in November through December, January, then the wild fish came. Now we have these fish coming throughout the whole season, and genetically they're as close as you can get to quote unquote wild fish. And our success rate's about 96 or greater percent for these wild fish that we get, spawn them at the hatchery and return them to the river alive. That's amazing that we're able to spawn fish and return them. We've had mortality rates with the learning curve on transporting, but we've got it down. For the most part, it's a positive program. So we'd like to see the whole state go to it, and the funding issue, I'm sure, but there's no reason why all the rivers should not be doing something similar,
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it makes sense, Cal. So I think some numbers you threw out at us last time, your mortality rate is probably less than 2%, which is phenomenal. Comparatively, where we utilize a 10% mortality on catch and release of wild fish here for recreational anglers on the river, which is concerning and way over projected, but I understand it. They want to have an insurance policy to make sure we're not estimating on this. So that's a totally different topic. But what I want you to kind of drill down on here is we are catching, I've come down there successfully, caught some of the wild unclipped fish that we've retained in the box. Last year we got a decent buck to enter into the program, and we dropped that off at the holding pen and then, trucked to the hatchery and all. So we are catching and retaining, healthy mid-teener unmarked fish. These fish go into the hatchery, they're paired up, they're live spawned for release. Now the egg take that they get, is this 100% marking rate, or is there a percentage of those released, obviously unclipped, for future broodstock harvest, and a percentage of them that are released clipped for hatchery retention, or how does this work?
I think as far as I'm aware, the eggs that we're using from broodstock are used 100%. I don't have a complete numbers. I know the last year's show off the top of my head, it might change a little bit, but they're utilizing all of the we get, and and they're not taking more than they need. I mean, 18 pairs or 13 pairs or 9 pairs or whatever they're doing it each month. They vary each month based on what the need is. They're getting what they need out of it in terms of smolt, ultimately smolt to put in the river. Yeah, successful smolts, and we're seeing it right now. I mean, it's been a number of years since we've seen this many hatchery fish return. And years prior, 8, 9, 7, 8 years ago, we were having a lot of no returns because we had issues with the traditional hatchery system with, incubators and generators and just aging systems. And Oregon, we have grants. Our license dollars goes to grant opportunity, and they're out there for the taking, and we've done a pretty good job with the Siletz. We have the Siletz Anglers Association. We did a fundraiser, and we helped fix the holding pond that we put all this, the rearing pond where we hold them right before we dump them so they can acclimate, the acclimation pond, so to speak, up there at Palmer. That was done with fundraised dollars to help with ODFW too. So there's a lot of in-basin work, locals in the Siletz, Newport, Willamette Valley guys that all go there that are all participating to help, kind of have a gem, on the Central Oregon coast. I mean, it's hard to beat, and the fish, and like on our trip we just did, we caught wild fish, but we want to have the best fish in there. So we let they were bright, nice, shiny, healthy wild fish, but the size-wise, we were looking for bigger fish. So we chose not to contribute. We let those fish swim, and if we would have got bigger fish, we would have contributed. So we get to kind of grade as we go, so so far we're on track for what we have, I guess.
Yeah. So talk a little bit about the hatchery programs as well. Yeah. On these river systems, these Oregon coastal rivers, do you have a mix of, you've got the broodstock program. Do each of these rivers also have a typical hatchery program? How does that work?
Well, some do. I know the Saisla is pretty old school. still. It does they have a step program, but it's not I wouldn't call it a broodstock program. But you get down south to the elk. They have a hatchery on the Elk River, so they have a hatchery program there. I'm not sure if the South Coast. I know the guys on the Chetco are broodstocking down there. I know Andy Martin and those guys do that.
Yeah.
But for the most part, the Oregon coast has gone exclusively to broodstock, from what I understand. We used to identify our fish. We used to clip fins to identify which ones are which, maxillary cuts, ventral fin cuts. We don't do that no more because we know what our fish are.
Yeah. Interesting. The evolution of the program, right? So let me ask you this, Kyle. Can you think of anywhere in Oregon currently where you guys are experiencing cutbacks in programs, access restrictions, gear restrictions, God forbid you don't get to fish out of your boat? Any of that going on in Oregon? No, not that I'm aware of. Okay. Now, the only areas that we have closures are in conjunction with Washington, like the Columbia River above Bonneville. The steelhead fishing's closed. Sure. And there's a lot of factors up there that are causing that. But in terms of inland Oregon, like down the Willamette Valley, where we have the Willamette Basin rivers, and then on the coast, we're seeing more opportunity. I mean, at least from what I'm aware of and what I'm seeing, we're seeing more people fishing. It's really been a positive experience. We have a lot of free fish days for people, even if it's just regular trout fishing in Oregon. Yeah. I think the big thing is we still have some outdoorsmen at ODFW. I mean, we complain. We have our issues at ODFW, just like every other. Not right. But for the most part, the people that I've been dealing with are pretty positive. I mean, if it wasn't for I had an elk tag to go for Mount Emily, which is a coveted tag. The biologist was incredible. If you draw a sheep tag, the biologists are there helping you figure out where to go. That sounds pretty amazing.
Really, that is amazing. What about the commission members? Maybe we can get a few of those. Don't get going on that. We ain't got time for all that. It's not all doom and gloom in the state of Oregon and in our bureaucracies, but there are things that we can do better management. But we are doing okay. I mean, there's things that we can do better at, but we are doing with what we have. We're doing. We're not getting rid of broodstock programs. We're at. That's a good thing. Sure. Yeah. Well, you talked about doom and gloom. To some extent, we are seeing a bit of that up here in the state of Washington. Mm-hmm. I'm curious, with the current state of our steelhead fishery up here, are you seeing more Washington plates down your way?
Absolutely. For years I have a amount of Washington clients that come down here. They'll make their trips and stuff, and I don't know. I've seen a lot of them near Pacific City too. I think that's a hub for Washingtonians for the Tillamook Bay area and stuff like that. But it's just like the guiding situation in the Columbia. I mean, you have to have a charter license to go below Longview. And so that's why all those guys are going out of Astoria. It's just different. Oregon and Washington are just different. Yeah. Yeah. And we can go on all day about it. But, in terms of, not being able to fish from a boat, closing rivers, it doesn't seem to prove that it's effective. Sure. Because the fish numbers aren't changing. Yeah. It's a very good point. We're seeing better habitat in Oregon. I mean, I'm going to the Umpqua tournament. It's the Enhancement Derby. It starts in another week and a half. And it's the timber companies along Douglas County that contribute to this. And it raises upwards of 70. We just lose Kyle?
I think we might have lost him.
Oh, I think we might have lost Kyle. Okay, well, great information from him as always. Getting close to wrapping it up anyhow. So good time to stop. But they got some really good stuff going on down there.
Yeah, they do.
We're going to do our very best to try and get communications with WDFW in the aspect of the broodstocking that is actually going on here in Washington State, and kind of do a comparable, see where we're at, perhaps hopefully where we're going, if there's any plans to expand those programs in the future. So good information for Kyle. Look him up, Willamette Valley Guide Service, Willamette Valley Outfitter, excuse me. Check him out on Facebook and look up his webpage. He's always looking to book trips, though. If you're lucky enough to find an opening to get in his boat, you are lucky to spend a day on the water with him. All right, with that, Tommy, we'll jump out for a quick break. We come back, going to treat you folks to a spectacular recipe with Chef Jeff Maxfield and Sherry, in the kitchen at Finn's Bistro, Douglas fir roasted salmon. And I think I mentioned at the start of the show, this is done with coho. That being said, again, we get that blackmouth opener. Those are perfect sized fish to be in the kitchen whipping up this recipe. So don't go anywhere. This is one you definitely want to give a try, even if you're pulling fish out of the freezer. Douglas fir roasted salmon in the kitchen at Finn's Bistro. We come back right here, Fish Hunt Northwest. Allied boats are built by West Coast fishermen for West Coast fishermen. Deep V 21-degree dead rise at the transom guarantees a smooth ride no matter the conditions. Allied offers all of our boats with Honda outboard packages so that you can take full advantage of the reliability and 5-year top-to-prop warranty from your Honda outboard. Allied boats range from 19 to 32 foot in length, so no matter what type of heavy gauge boat you are looking for, we have it for you. All of our Corsair 21 foot and larger designs come standard with reverse chine that is welded inside and out with no extrusions below the waterline, so that you will never have to worry about corrosion problems down the road. Get out on the water today in a boat that you can trust and enjoy with Allied Boats. Contact us at Allied Boats today to learn much more about our incredible fishing machines.
New days, new beginnings, new friends, new loves, new dreams, new goals, new scenery, new job. No matter what the next chapter holds, Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate will be there to help you find the new that's right for your lifestyle at any stage of your life. Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate. Expect better.
Here we go.
Welcome back to Fish Hunt Northwest. We're here in the kitchen at Finn's Bistro with Jeff Maxfield, co-owner and chef, phenomenal chef, and we're going to cook some coho salmon.
We're doing coho salmon. Yep. This is a great version for the fall, using the apples, new crop apples that have just been harvested and they're flooding all the supermarkets right now. Okay. We're using a Brayburn apple. Granny Smith works great in this application as well. A little bit of fennel. If you're not an anise or a licorice fan, you can certainly omit this, but it's a simple, just a really great fresh relish. Everybody's heard of cooking, salmon on a cedar plank, or you've seen that a lot, especially in this area, for years. We're doing something a little bit different, and we're using fir. So fir fronds, just those, the young tender tips off of them. Trim those, wash them real good. it works great, and it's great camping too. If you grab some of the prawns and cook that trout right on it, or it certainly works in lots of different applications, and you get that really nice flavor, kind of almost Christmas tree flavor from the resins that are in it.
Yeah, I've known you've done that with the trout before. With us.
Yeah, and in the springtime, when the tips are starting to, you can see all that new growth. Those are really great to use too. If you just pick those off, they have a very light, kind of lemony flavor. That's great too. So once you see those trees starting to have that new growth, they're almost yellow in color. Pick some of those off and try them, and get creative.
All right, sounds good.
Simple recipe here is we're doing skin-on salmon, and that's to kind of protect the fish. The skin will typically stick to the fur once we remove, when we remove it to the table. I like leaving the skin on in this type of application while you're roasting, because all that fat that's underneath the skin helps get that really great moisture into the salmon. Yep. So we're going to start with a little bit of our proprietary seasoning. Salt and pepper, or your favorite store-bought seasoning works just fine too. And so
your seasoning would be even
absolutely,
better.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah.
So light seasoning on that, and then we're going to bring a pan over here, and I'm doing this right into a cast iron skillet. Let's move the stuff out of the way here.
So it can go from the stovetop to the oven?
Right,
Is that what
exactly.
you're thinking? Okay.
So I've got a cast iron skillet here.
All right.
Warming up just a little bit.
Hot.
And that helps, being able to have a hot pan going into the oven helps, because then it reduces the cook time. You could certainly do this on a piece of foil or on a sheet pan, if you've got a whole side of fish that you want to do. So we're going to pop that fur right in the bottom, and that hot pan's also going to help, kind of release some of those essential oils in that resin.
Okay.
Okay, fish right on top there. And we've got a little bit of fresh basil. Sprinkle some basil on there. You could use dill too, which is just fine.
Yeah.
We're all about presentation, right? So a little bit of sliced lemon, and a couple pats of butter, and that just helps kind of keep it moist, and we'll kind of create a little sauce there as well.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna pop this in an oven.
Okay.
It's 400 degrees. And that'll take 15 or 20 minutes or so, which is about the perfect time for us to make the relish that's going to go with it. So, like I said before, fennel, ginger, apple. Okay. You could certainly use, right now pomegranates in grocery stores, and you can throw a little bit of pomegranate in there for that
especially
bright,
for
vibrant color.
Thanksgiving time. That's
absolutely,
perfect.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, a couple little tricks. Peeling ginger.
I never know what to do with it.
Just an easy one. If you peel it, if you buy a bunch of ginger, oftentimes people will just break off ginger at the grocery store of what they need, and and then it leaves the rest of the ginger. No, but if you buy quite a bit of it, you can peel it all, throw it in a little Ziploc sandwich bag, and throw it in your freezer. So then when you need it again, you just pull it out, frozen, run it on a cheese grater, and now you've got easily
plenty. Yep.
Okay, so all I did there was I took off a little bit of a bottom, or one side of it, just so that it creates a flat surface, so then now you can slice on it. Food processor would work. Obviously,
save my fingers.
Cheese grater works great too. That's a great way to utilize some of those, those sides of the cheese grater that you don't know what they're really for.
Yeah.
All right, so
I typically use one side.
Yeah.
Yep.
Us too. And so we'll just finely chop that up.
I love the smell of ginger.
It is. We use it a lot, and it's in a lot of our recipes here. And it has so many different applications. You always kind of equate it to Asian cuisine, which it's certainly in a lot of Asian dishes, but it adds so much to other dishes that might not even even a little bit of ginger underneath the skin of your turkey for Thanksgiving is fantastic. Wow. So I've got this is a mandolin. You can buy these in a lot of specialty stores, Waiajamaya here in the Seattle area, which is an Asian store, they've got them. They're super, super sharp, and they're not very expensive, and you know, they fit into any drawer.
What's it called again?
It's a mandolin.
Mandolin.
Yep.
Okay.
And this is a Japanese mandolin. There's some French ones out there that are kind of bulky. I've got a couple here, and this is our go-to.
Okay.
So on the surface, you know, just make sure you've got a firm grip on it, and you're just going to run that apple right over the top.
Oh wow!
And what I always tell cooks, you know, that are afraid to use these sorts of things, because they will tear your knuckles up.
Right.
You know, no chunk of a potato or an apple is worth, you know, the rest of your fingernail or anything like that. So, you know, when you get to the point where you're a little nervous about it, get rid of it. Be done with it.
Okay.
Okay.
Give it to your granddaughter to finish.
Right, exactly. Give it to the chickens. All right, so that's going to go into a bowl. Oftentimes, you know, everybody's like, oh gosh, my apples, you know, when I slice them like this for salad, always get brown and mushy.
Right.
You know, the old trick of putting a little bit of lemon juice on it certainly works. But in the restaurant world, what we use, it's not vodka. This is Sprite or Sierra Mist. Any lemon lime flavored soda, and the citric acid that's in it helps to, you know, kind of keep its vibrancy. You could put, you know, these apples into a refrigerator, and they're still going to look like this tomorrow.
Really?
Absolutely. Yep. Okay, so
yeah,
and
you
actually,
don't get that lemon flavor either.
Right.
Yeah.
And you could use, you know, you don't have to use a ton of it. I like it actually because it adds a little bit of sweetness to it.
Okay.
You know, and you can kind of just tear those little pieces up a little bit more. All right, and then we're going to take our fennel. Cut the bottom off and peel any of those outer leaves that are, you know, brown. And now you got that nice tender inside. Okay, there's a little bit of a core there. You can just trim it right off just like that.
Okay.
Okay.
Because that's pretty hard.
It is, yeah. And so this one, we're not going to battle with the mandolin for that. We're just going to use our knife, and it's kind of already got the ability to, you know, kind of shred a little bit, and you know, those are pretty, right?
Yeah.
And it'll look great on the salmon. And as it's, you know, sitting in here with the apples and a little bit of that lemon juice that we're going to add to it, it's going to help kind of break these down and make them super nice and tender. And it's, you know, it's not a tough vegetable by any stretch. All right.
Okay.
And lastly, we're going to add a little bit more of that fresh basil.
Always good.
A little bit of fresh ground pepper. A little bit of sea salt. And then I'm going to squeeze a little bit of lemon juice. And so it's, you know, it's almost just more like a salad, right? It's not even, it's not, you know.
I was going to say, you could just put a fork
and eat it just like this, absolutely. You know, another one that you can put Satsuma oranges in here with that, which is, you know, those are starting to hit the grocery stores. All right.
Looks great.
And again, you can do this early, and you know, put it in the refrigerator, and it'll hold just fine for you.
Okay.
So let's pull out our salmon.
I'm ready.
All right.
Woo. You said 400 degrees?
400.
For about how long?
It takes about 20 minutes or so.
Okay.
Depending on the size. You know, it is, you know, certainly this is enough for, you know, 2 people if you've got some side dishes with it, or maybe enough for just Duane, who knows.
Yeah, that's about Duane or Jordan's, or
Yep. And so then, you know, a spatula is a way you can get this out, or a pair of tongs. And just kind of free it up a little bit so nothing sticks.
For the presentation.
And I'm just going to use just a couple spoons here. And right to the plate there. And finish it off with our Apple relish.
Okay.
How's it look?
Looks great.
Fantastic.
Looks awesome. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and dig in, and we'll throw it back to the guys in the studio.
There you go, Tommy.
I am sad that I missed that.
Oh, so good.
Oh my gosh.
So good. Yeah, you were not able, due to schedule conflicts, you were not able to join Shing and I up there with Jeff for the day of the number of recipes that we're able to acquire when we step foot into the Finn's Bistro Dojo.
Yeah,
So,
I'll be making that though, for sure.
Yeah, it's amazing how much flavor a simple fur bell will add to your palate. It is unbelievable. So, and let's face it, there's a number of trees, and if you don't have one in your yard, I'm sure your neighbor does. You know, night operations with a headlamp and one of them long extended poles. You're gonna cut that branch down. So, well worth it. Pull some salmon out of the freezer, Mike Surdick and anybody else, and give that one a go. You're gonna be very impressed. All right. We're going to jump out for a break, Tommy. We come back. We're going to have our buddy Ron Garner, president of Puget Sound Anglers, on the phone. We have a number of topics to cover. Most of these have to do with some of the bills being pushed out of legislation. Most of them, I think, are tied up in committee right now. We're going to explain all that to you when we come back here. But these are ones you need to pay attention to. While we jump out for commercial break, hit up all your friends, all those that are passionate about fishing, especially fishing here in Washington State, and some of the things going on with the commission. People need to hear this stuff and need to know what to do. So please jump on your friends train and get the phone train going. Get everybody on here to listen to this information. It's important that we get it out there, and we want you to follow. Jump out for a 2-minute break or so. We'll be back right here in studio with Ron Garner, Fish on Northwest. We come back. Defiance boats are built without any structural wood materials. That is why we back our boats with a lifetime warranty. All of our Defiance boats come standard with large fish boxes that are fully insulated so that you can ice your fish properly all day. Defiance boats feature a 21 to 22 degree dead rise at the transom and a large reverse chine for incredible handling and stability offshore. Defiance boats are foam flotation filled and unsinkable for the ultimate in safety while fishing offshore. Defiance boats feature fuel-efficient hull designs with large fuel tank capacity so that you can have maximum fuel range for making long offshore runs completely safe and affordable. All Defiance boats come standard with self-bailing decks for improved safety while at sea. Defiance Boat offers all our boats with Honda outboard packages so that you can take full advantage of the reliability and 5-year top-to-prop warranty from your Honda outboard. Defiance Boats for all your boating needs, and let us help you get out on the water.
Today, the need for quality private security services is at an all-time high. Contract Security Service provides day-to-day peace of mind as they protect people and property. Phoenix Protective Corporation strives for excellence. Above all, Phoenix security officers are managed by leaders trained to inspire and encourage greatness. Here at Phoenix, we provide service for multiple state and federal contracts, with service ranging from uniform, patrol, alarm monitoring, canine detection, executive protection, as well as investigative work. We here at Phoenix are looking for highly motivated individuals to apply. If you're a vet, retired or active, and would like to work with us, please apply.
Hey, welcome back, Fish on Northwest. Duane Tommy Dolan here in studio, winding down the show. Our current guest on the phone joining us before we get out of here tonight, Ron Garner, not a stranger to the show, Tommy. We've had him on a few times. President of Puget Sound Anglers. Thanks for joining us tonight, Ron. How you doing?
Thanks, I appreciate it. Doing really well.
Yeah. Well, we've talked here recently. There's a number of things going on in Olympia, as we know. legislative session is in session for their 60-day here winter time. And there's a number of things coming out of Natural Resources Committee, both on the Senate side and the House side. We're going to kind of break a couple of these down. The first one I want to start with, Senate Bill 5721, titled Consolidating Natural Resources Management under the Commissioner of Public Lands. And I want to read a brief summary here so folks understand what we're talking about. It says, therefore, legislation finds that consolidating management of natural resources under the Commissioner of Public Lands by having the Commissioner appoint the directors of the Department of Fish and Wildlife and State Parks. They say that this would create a decision-making structure and provide for public accountability. Now, for me, here are some of the concerning verbiage that I want you to kind of dissect for us. The legislator further finds that having the Commissioner of Public Lands appoint the members of the, and here's the change, the Fish and Wildlife Advisory Commission, and having the commission serve in an advisory role to the direction of the relevant agencies. They also put in there, the Director of Fish and Wildlife shall be appointed by the Commissioner of Public Lands. The Commissioner of Public Lands shall appoint the Director of the Department of Fish and Wildlife and appoint the members of the Fish, and here it is again, Fish and Wildlife Advisory Commission. So they're changing the title of the actual commission of how they recognize it. And to me, in reading through this entire bill, they want to put the appointee of the Director of Fish and WDFW and appoint all the persons on the commission under the overseership of the Commissioner of Public Lands, who currently would be Hillary Franz.
Okay, so first of all, this is the most dangerous one there is.
Yeah.
Let's drop back to 1995. Referendum 45 we did was a vote by the people to have their own say into the Department of Fish and Wildlife. That vote was won by 61%. That way you don't have the governor or any other legislators calling the shots. This is the people's voice to be able to have access to WDFW. They work with the commission. Mm-hmm. The commission hires and fires a director, sets policy, mm-hmm. and this is how we work. Now, the way this is being done is the director is now appointed, so he's selected by a certain person, mm-hmm. and then the commission basically gets neutered. They're nobody. They're advisors only. If nobody wants to listen to them, you don't listen to them. They lose all power. Who would want to be a commissioner? Okay, let's go to the next step. Why is this happening? Why is this happening? This is happening because we removed HSRG out of the commission policy. Now, mm-hmm. that was very well taken by a lot of people that make a lot of money off of salmon recovery.
Right.
Honestly, if there was a yardstick for all the money spent and what the recovery is, it would not be a good showing. Right. So there's kind of a word called salmon recovery industry in some of this. You know, it's an industry to keep this funding. And I sit with a lot of different people, a lot of groups, and a lot of them I see more money than fish working on fish, and that really disturbs me. Yeah. So this is a way to get rid of, unhappiness. Go in, get the third party. This is the main ones are third party, but to do this is to totally take power over WDFW. So if you can remove all the power from WDFW, you can call the shots. Now, these other bills are going to have a little bit of this, but I want to make sure that everybody understands what's going on. When you take the power away from WDFW and the people, and you start putting a third party, or you put it under a governmental person, there's administration changes every 4 years a lot of times. So DFW is moving along a set of lines, and all of a sudden a new legislature or a new person in this public lands comes in. Hey, that isn't my intent. Scrap all that. This is what we're going to do now. It's going to be more dysfunctional than it is now. That's a very big thing to think about, that every 4 years your Department of Fish and Wildlife could be changing gears to another way. So it's never going to be workable ever again.
There's no upside to this entire idea here and how they've constructed this particular bill. again, and we're frustrated with the current process based on the person who is appointing said individuals to the commission. But that is something that can be resolved. But it can't be resolved by simply deferring the person in charge of appointing persons to the commission seats, not confirming, but appointing. And then also, now you're also taking the same individual and they select the directors of these different divisions. It's just too much under one thing. Not to mention, what did we learn historically, Ron, when we took game management and fisheries management and put them under one umbrella of fish and wildlife? That proved to be, early on especially, a debacle that a lot of folks were saying, what do we do here? Now we're going to take this massive project that is WDFW and the overseers, and we're going to cram it all under DNR, under one individual. To me, none of this, to me and Tommy, makes any sense at all.
Yeah, one thing that's kind of funny that I'm going to say is Mike Cincy was a friend of mine that was one of the enforcement officers, and he used to go in. He was, before he left, retired, he was going in and still changing laws and rules from the old game department and fish department. They still aren't fully changed and up to speed yet.
Yeah.
We're going to do this all over again,
right.
you know?
Right.
I think this is a very, very bad thing, because you don't ever know who's going to be the director, who's going to appoint. But if you have the commission the way it is, it kind of gets rolling along the guidelines. And the biggest problem with the commission right now is the way it's being staffed or not staffed, and who they're staffing.
Yes.
Are they reasonable people? Do they come with an agenda to not hunt and not fish? I mean, there's a big movement all over the U.S. to take over game departments and try and neuter them. And this fits right into what's happening, just like the spring bear hunt. You saw, if you look, there was an email that went out to all the different environmentalists to basically come in and gang up on the commission to knock down that bear hunt. So only a couple of hunters knew about it. They got on. It was a 40-2 count.
Yeah, and that brings us perfectly to the next bill, Ron. So Senate Bill 5656. This one is concerning Fish and Wildlife Commission members. And as you mentioned, I would have said it was already in turmoil when we had an open East Side seat that wasn't filled, let alone, having Fred Kuntz and Lorna Smith on the commission. Obviously we saw how that, as you noted, we saw how that bear vote went. It was a 4-4 tie. The thing that blew my mind, obviously was Larry Carpenter's vote. A lot of folks hypothesized that it was politicized because he was not confirmed as the chair of the commission. So a lot of people believe that he was under political pressure as well. And then, the fact that a tie vote leads to a non-season instead of staying with the status quo is also mind-blowing. But now you've got folks on the commission that are making these emotional decisions, not data-based objective decisions. They're making emotional decisions, right? And we saw that again in terms of the Blues elk crisis down in the southeast corner of the state. But this bill right here that's being presented, here's the concerning language of it. I'll read it to you. If the Senate does not confirm an appointment within 12 months, the appointment to the commission expires and the governor must provide a new appointment. And to me, the way this reads is like, hey, if you're appointed and, you better do what I tell you to do in this first year. And if you do, I'll confirm you. And if you don't, I guess I'll be looking for a new commission member. How do you take this one?
I see it just like you do. It's have your cake and eat it too. If I don't like you and you're under me and you're not voting my way, because, there's speculation with Carpenter, and it's not that he's not confirmed as much as he's expired.
Right.
He's expired and can be replaced anytime. The Senate confirmation only keeps him from getting fired by the governor. And so right here, now they're using the confirmation process for Senate too. Now they're pulling a little bit more of their own power in. They're trying to nudge their way in and do a little more ownership. So let's say I'm a vegan and I don't like hunters and I don't like fishing. I don't like any of this stuff. Let's just say, okay, so this spring bear hunt rolls out and or some other hunting thing comes out. And I see people on the commission that are being, they're listening to their constituents and they're talking pro hunting. Well, let's see. I I don't like what you're doing. If you really want to keep your seat past that 1 year, you better start voting my way.
Right.
And then if you don't, then I'm just not going to confirm you. Then you're fired. So that's too much power from one person. No, that's got to go.
Well, yeah, because, lobbyists will get a hold of these senators sitting on the Natural Resources Committee. They'll leverage hard on direction that they want certain bills and certain decision-making processes to happen. Those non-confirmed commissioners sitting, waiting to, kind of meld into the process for a 6-year program, they're going to get leverage from these senators that want to see things in a certain direction. And the whole thing just, smells a rat. It's like you can't have good faith negotiations and come to agreements on things when there's too much power on one political side to direct the outcome of some of these decision-making processes. So this is another one that Tommy and I certainly don't want to see move through. Another one I want to touch on here before we get to your final one that you had brought up at the beginning of the segment, House bill. So not only are we getting it from the Natural Resource Committee on the Senate side, but the House is also bringing items forward. This one here is concerning because, as you had mentioned, they're trying to unravel the successes that you and a number of folks had a hand in, including the co-managers with the tribes, in successfully removing the science review process in HSRG. So this one here, House Bill 1653, improving statewide coordination in support of anadromous fish recovery. Now, on the surface, that sounds like a pretty interesting title with a lot of positive things to come out of it. But when you drill down on it, the Governor's Salmon Recovery Office should, and they've scratched, be created. It says should provide overall coordination of the state's response, an independent science panel, and they scratched is needed. They put in shall provide scientific review and oversight. In other words, we're bringing in third-party oversight and review, which we removed. It's just an absolute mess. Now we're trying to be progressive and move forward with hatchery programs and all the things you and other folks, as I mentioned, were successful in removing to stop roadblocking, wasting money, wasting time, move progressively forward with hatchery reform, adding more fish where it's granted to do so through NOAA and all the processes that you are so well informed on. And now we want to what? Bring it back to a third-party review, scientific review, reinstall HSRGs. This, to me and Tommy, smells like nothing but a money grab, putting persons into positions, lobbyists getting in there, muddying it up, slowing the process. Nobody wins.
Let's not forget about shutting down hatchery production, because who's going to end up in there is going to be the Washington Academy of Sciences.
Yes.
And we went through the whole HSRG process, and we sat through meetings with WSAS. And, some of the things that really irritated me is this was the public process, and we were at meeting number 1 told we could all go into meeting number 2 down in Seattle with the Washington Academy of Sciences, who they hired to do the study. Well, guess what? We get down to about the week before, and none of us have gotten a call. We're asking about, getting in on this meeting. And finally, we get in and we get through, and they said, oh, we don't have room for everybody. We just have this really small room. So we're not going to have all the public and this and that. And it's like, oh, yes, you are. And so we blew the door down, basically, is what we did to get in. And they did not have anything but University of Washington type professors on this. So we alerted the tribes, and the tribes got 2 pro-hatchery people on this panel. And Frank Uribeck got Ernie Brandon out of Idaho that's pro-hatchery. So basically, you already had the deck stacked. And when we got the acceptance back in, guess who the first 2 people on the list were? Wild Fish Conservancy. We fell in after them. So if we hadn't been there, we saw some things happen. We all witnessed some things that should have never happened.
Yeah.
Between the vice chair of HSRG, the scientists, we saw a lot of things happen. It was quite concerning. And so this is why we're not giving up, because there is a huge coup takeover of our fisheries, and the power of WDFW, it all lies around hunting and fishing. If they can take this over, they can have the power. We can stop the hatcheries. We just got $400 million for hatchery production from Cantwell's office.
Right.
Thank you. And we got NOAA that's going to put money in that's going to bring fish back for the orcas. We fought 2 years of our lives on the Orca Task Force, 5 years of our lives fighting this, and now it's coming back. Those guys took our funding. You know, if you look at salmon recovery, it's a perpetual funding mechanism.
Right.
They don't have to go fight for their money. It just continually flows. But there's no goal line. Just this is probably one of the most important things I'm ever going to tell you. There's no money in recovered salmon.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Across the finish line, the money's gone.
Right.
Why would you, if you have $150,000 a year job, $200,000, and you do this, why would you want to recover it?
Right.
Why would you want to cross the finish line? And I do want to say we are working very well with the tribes on this. We're side by side on this, and they're helping us very well.
Good to hear. Before we get out of here, let's break down that last bill you mentioned, House Bill, I believe. Another one that is
House Bill 2707, and it does the same thing. It comes in and makes a new task force, another third party, and which is a no. So all these are no's. If people want to go on to our PugetSoundAnglers.org website, it's on the front page. You can click on the bill. You can see we wrote down kind of a little explanation. The bill is in there. You can read the full bill yourself, and then there's another link that you can click and go right into the legislature and fill in oppose if you're opposed and the language you want to put in there.
Yeah.
But there's little samples in there. But this is very important. This is it, guys. I mean, everything. If we lose this, we're done. I mean, it's going to go away. And we're working with the tribes. Billy, we have the riparian bill, the 1839 riparian bill, with trying the Lorraine Loomis Act. There's one on each side, and they're trying really hard to get this so we can get the riparian back. But we got to keep the fish here in time for that habitat. So when we got the fish coming back, they got a place to go. So we're supporting the Lorraine Loomis Act on the two bills, and working intently with the tribes, and the tribes are working with us to try and help us kill these bills.
Yeah. So, well, it kind of raised a red flag for Tommy and I as we reviewed a few weeks ago the $187 million ask by Governor Inslee and all the parameters that were locked into that. And if you read through the lines in there, there's definitely some information that kind of highlights bringing back third-party review and some of the things we're speaking of this evening. So now we come out of ledge session, they introduce these bills. The governor's already allocated funds to support some of this behavior, and you can kind of see the handwriting on the wall of where this is coming from and who's pushing it forward and kind of what the goal here is. You're right. We need to shut this stuff down on everything we've discussed this evening, because any one of those, even in and of itself, could be detrimental to our ability to recover fish, have our opportunity on the water, rebuild, bolstered hatchery programs, all the things we're discussing. So I appreciate your efforts. I know Tommy and I both appreciate your efforts and all the work you put in and how much you stay on top of this stuff. And, we try to do our part by helping inform folks. This is why we like to get persons of your caliber on our show when this stuff is forefront and needs to get out there. And so for review quickly, PSA put an announcement out there. They can go to Puget Sound Anglers webpage, click on the links. They can go to our Facebook page, click on the links, fill in their information, fill in the comments box, telling the various natural resources committees and whatnot to kill these bills, do not support them, and do not move forward with them. Is that correct?
Yes, and I really appreciate you guys putting this on there. I wish we were talking about fishing, or anything like that.
Right.
And man, I tell you, we were just talking about this. My friend Butch and I were just talking about this, going, remember we used to just get to north of Falcon? We got that done, and then we went fishing.
Right.
Yeah. And this is a full-time job. I already have a full-time job.
Yeah.
This one was bad.
Yeah, you got at least 2 full-time jobs.
Yes, you do. Yeah. With the passion that you have, So, and mentioning that real quick too, north of Falcon. So here we are in lead session. We have things that we're trying to keep a thumb on and make sure that they go away. And then we're going to roll right into preseason forecasting, as you know, coming up here in February. That's going to roll right into north of Falcon. Something tells me, Tommy, we're going to have Ron Garner on a couple more times before we even see the front edge of summer.
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
there's a lot going on behind the scenes.
Oh, man.
The average person can't even have a clue what's going on, but the good thing is if we didn't have the tribes, this might go right on through.
Yeah. So, yeah. Appreciate that. Appreciate your effort. Appreciate their efforts for sure in the co-management. And together, hopefully we can, show support of this to get rid of it and move forward. And hey, like you said, wouldn't we all rather just go fishing? Because I think that's the goal here.
Amen.
So, hey, Ron, always a pleasure. Keep doing good things. Continue your efforts there at Puget Sound Anglers as the president. And things come up. You got Tommy and I. Just call us up, and we'll get you back on the show to make sure folks are tracking and following what it is that's going on. That's going to unfortunately keep us off the water if we don't act on these measures.
Yeah, we want to turn this around. We want to start building our fisheries where we're fishing more.
100%. All right, sir. Yeah. Great to talk to you. We'll stay in touch.
Take care, Ron.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. Have a good night. All right. There you go, Ron Garner, President at PSA. Get on PugetSoundAnglers.org. Check out what it is we were talking about this evening. Go to our Facebook page on the posting I put up there, Tommy, with all the links.
Yep,
pretty simple. You click on it. You can read the bill if you have some time to educate yourself, and then you can click on the link that opens it right up for the comments portion to let your senators know and your House representatives that sit on these natural resources committees to ensure that they hear from you, because this is that vitally important. All right. Thomas, we have come to the end, my friend.
Yes, we have.
One mention quickly is first week of February. We have the Sportsman Show coming up.
Yes, we do.
We are going to be down there full force and tons of new swag Shing has been spending our money on, by the way.
I noticed that.
Yeah, only to load up the inventory so that we have plenty to choose from. We got some really great stuff coming out, and we would love to see everybody come down to the Sportsman Show. Yes, mask mandate probably will still be in place. Fingers crossed, maybe we follow Great Britain, man, and it just all goes away.
I'm not going to hold my breath for that one.
Chances are not probably going to have it, but there's wishful thinking. Yeah. We also want to get that Area 10 open back up. I'm just full of wishes, right?
Yeah.
So, Sportsman Show, February 2nd through the 6th. We will be there each and every day. Looking forward to seeing a lot of you folks that support us week in and week out. Come on down, say hi. Be great to see you, and put some swag in the bag to send you home with. Help us support ourselves here, Fish on Northwest, and what we do each and every week. So with that, Tommy, I'm going to call it a night.
All right, let's do it.
All right, man. Want to appreciate all our guests tonight. Kyle Buschelman, of course, Willamette Valley Outfitters, and of course, just got off the phone with Ron Garner, PSA. Until next week, 6 p.m. Thursday, get out and do some stuff this week. Weather looks pretty conducive, giving you opportunity to try and go get something done. Post your pictures and whatnot on our social media. Post your comments, messages up anytime. Go to our webpage, fishhuntnw.com. Check out everything we have going on there. Buy some swag through the store. And if not, we'll see you at the Sportsman Show in a couple weeks. Have a great night, everybody. We'll see you next week.